Thank you for watching this August crop update for the Farm Advisory Service. Well into harvest now, so in terms of crop health management, thoughts really move from the field to managing risks in store. So obviously that's particularly thinking of, cleaning out grain stores and then managing particularly your temporary piles of grain carefully. So prioritising those that are perhaps higher in moisture content. Hopefully if we've had a nice hot dry summer, then some of the moisture content should be quite low, but do pay particular attention to any moist grain there. Obviously at the end of the season we're thinking potato blight as well, and with early examples of blight in the field this year there is an enhanced risk of blight in tubers. So you're beginning to switch to your blight fungicides which have good antisporulent activity and taking some of those precautionary measures, so trying to avoid cracks in ridges and trying to obviously avoid irrigating any crops where you think blight is a risk. And picking the fungicide that you know will give good control, making sure that the haulm is completely dead before you stop your blight programmes. In the next couple of crop updates, colleagues are going to start looking with you at some of the policy and greening changes. But I thought it would be helpful just to have a quick look ahead now for some of the actions that you might be wanting to take at the minute that relate to some of those changing measures. So I think the two key ones are the measures in the whole farm plan that focus on soil health and that focus on integrated pest management. So thinking about things like soil health, for example, people are beginning to work more cover crops into their rotations, and with an early harvest this year people are taking the opportunity to put cover crops in and just maintain some cover on bare ground and obviously improve the organic matter and fertility once those cover crops are ploughed in. And you can also think of things like testing for clubroot and testing for PCN, which can obviously then inform your forward rotations where you know whether or not they're present. And then thinking of integrated pest management, some of the really key things you can do there, again focusing on your rotations. So for example at the minute, many people are looking a bit more intensely at oilseed rape as an increased break crop and a crop in its own right, particularly where prospects for spring barley seem a little bit depressed at the moment. And that obviously creates variety in your rotations and can reduce pest and disease pressure. So it's helpful from an IPM point of view. And then the other really key thing that you'll be doing at the moment is picking your varieties for example, winter barley and winter wheat for next year. So looking at varieties that give good untreated yield levels and have better resistance to many of the key diseases. That will be tricky this year for yellow rust, where we have had a big reshuffle in terms of the races that are out there. So do keep up to date on the information around yellow rust. But a lot of the information on the key varieties for Scotland are contained in the Scottish cereals variety lists that are available online. And then filling in your IPM plans is part of the whole farm plan options. So you're doing that annually, and it might be something that you're keeping for this autumn. But it's really quite simple. So use it as an opportunity to think about what you're doing, to have conversations with your agronomist about your inputs and your choices and your rotations. The plan is available on the Plant Health Centre website, and once you've filled it in, it will send you suggestions of things that you could perhaps think about taking up. Don't try and artificially inflate your score. The point is to just make an honest assessment of what you're doing and then consider other options as you go through the years. And all you have to do then is print a copy and keep that in case you're inspected at a later date.